The Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA, they have arrested 15 people for dumping refuse at unauthorized places and indulging in, this is for your listener discretion and viewer discretion if you're watching on Facebook, open defecation contrary to the Public Health Act 2012. Now, among the offenders, the interesting part of this is that there's a sanitation worker in there. Yes, and people are asking questions. I thought you were supposed to be the one to ensure that people are doing the right thing.
It shows you that we don't bring angels.
And we don't preach what we practice. We don't practice what we preach.
No, they are from us.
Yes.
They are from us.
Charlie. And there's a boxer in there as well. So yeah. And people are reacting to the story. Now, at the end of the day, the offenders, they were warned that the assembly, they are intensifying this enforcement. They are making sure that people are abiding by the rules. I think they feel that they have, been relaxed a bit. So this time around, they're letting people know that when we see you, we'll deal with you. At the end of the day,
would have been nice to use them as ambassadors of the project, though.
Yeah, well.
It did cross their mind.
Because I'm thinking the fact that they realize that even a sanitation person who's from us, if you are not even upholding, whatever you're supposed to uphold, but what you're saying also makes a lot of sense. We really can use them. They will be the, propagators of the word. Stay clean out there and all of that in between. But yeah, people are reacting to that story. Now, this one is where Kenya's parliament, they have ordered an inquiry into allegations of sexual abuse on tea plantations revealed in a BBC report. Now, the BBC found more than 70 women had been abused by their managers at plantations operated by two British companies, that is Unilever and James Finley. Now, the companies say they have suspended the three managers in question and are shocked by the allegations. However, that's Kenya's Deputy Speaker Gladys Sholeo ordered a committee of MPs to complete an investigation into the allegations within 2 weeks. Now, we've got excerpt of that to play.
All right. Guys, check it out on
our social media, 92.7 3FM. That's our Facebook. You will have a feel of what we're talking about.
A BBC investigation has uncovered widespread sexual abuse on tea farms, which supply some of the world's most popular brands, including Lipton. Dozens of women in Kenya told the BBC they've been forced into sex by their managers while working on plantations owned for decades by two British companies. Tom Odula has this report from Nairobi for BBC Africa Eye, a warning it does contain distressing scenes.
The tea grown here in Kenya's Rift Valley supplies some of the world's biggest brands. It's a multi-billion-dollar global industry, and we've discovered that sexual exploitation is rife. I spoke to dozens of women, all with a similar story.
It's torture. He wants to sleep with you, then you get a job.
When you say no, he forces himself on you, wanting to touch you.
It reached a point that I thought of suicide.
We sent an undercover reporter to pose as a worker. We are calling her Katie.
It was time for the general public to know what exactly happens in these companies.
She goes for a job interview with a notorious manager, John Chebochok. He's in charge of hundreds of workers on plantations owned by Scottish firm James Finley and Company. He tells her to follow him into a hotel room, where he puts pressure on her to have sex with him.
It must be really difficult.
Yes, so excerpts of, the documentary that you might want to check the entire thing out if, the story has piqued your interest. Now to the story. So an original iPhone model, unopened in its box since 2007, sold at an auction for $63,356. Now that's about 813,936 Ghana cedis. Now it is making it the highest amount a first-generation iPhone has ever sold for. The specific version version of the phone was 8 gigabytes of storage. Now, it would have been sold back then for $599. So the interesting part of the story is the fact that the lady was gifted this phone. She never opened it up because I think she was on a different phone service, and so the iPhone at the time couldn't support that service. So she was thinking of selling it because she was like, you know what, I'm on a different, phone service. There's no point. And then she was just snooping around and she found a story where someone has sold a particular phone. It was auctioned and the person got money. It was like, I've got a phone in a box that I could easily sell. And so she did that, and then, she got the money. And then people are asking, so what do you think her friends are feeling knowing that they bought something as a gift all these years and she never opened it up? No, but when I saw this story, I thought of mine. I had an iPhone 4. And I was like, I could have auctioned it.
I still have my Nokia 11, whatever, from back in the day.
Wow.
I should also keep
they should put it in a museum or something.
Keep it. No. I have 2 hands. I'll keep my own thing.
No.
No.
Don't do that.
No. I'll go keep it for somewhere for the next 20 years or so. Let's see. Maybe the value go appreciate.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But
probably sell that back to the
Nokia, do they still make phones?
They're not even in existence no more. But I'll just say, I don't care if they decide to branch into weapons of mass destruction. I'm selling that phone back to them. I'm selling that phone back to them one day. Yeah.
Now, this one here, the daughter of murdered black civil rights activist Malcolm X, says she is suing New York City Police Department and other agencies for his 1965 murder. So she announced the planned legal action at the site where, he was fatally shot in New York. That's about 58 years ago. Now, Mrs. Shabazz, who is 60 now, was 2 years old when she saw her father gunned down. 3 armed men shot him 21 times as he was preparing to speak at a Harlem auditorium. Now, a lawyer for the family decided to speak and let us know how they plan on going about this. And people are reacting on social media because they feel that it's been such a long time, so why wouldn't they just let it go? But then others also believe that, in light of the new evidence that has been made available, they believe that this is the action that the family should take. But we've got a little audio to that effect we'd want to share with you before we move on with the rest of our stories.
And give formal notice to the city of New York, the state of New York, and the federal government and its agencies, the FBI and the CIA, that the family members intend to bring a wrongful death lawsuit based on these new revelations that have now finally been substantiated.
Yes, so some reactions of, as I mentioned earlier, is going on social media. And before I leave, so Kweku the Traveler crooner Black Sheriff is still making some powerful moves and big wins. So the artist has been featured in a new song by hip-hop superstar J. Cole's record label, Dreamville. Now, the song was released earlier today and titled Blood, Sweat and Tears. It features American rapper Bass and Nigerian singer Kel-P. Now, according to the official cover art published by Dreamville, the song is a soundtrack for the final trailer of the popular Hollywood trilogy Creed. So people love that. We have a little bit of that, to play. Yeah.
The Creed is not out yet, right?
No, I think there's not one.
The third
March. Yeah, I think 3rd March. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm yet to check out the second one. I say it'd be good.
With all the exercise that the guy has been doing, you haven't watched anything.
No, I watched the first one.
The first one, but you're waiting on the
the second one is out, so I'm supposed to check it out.
I'm supposed to check it out.
Well, I know what to do tonight.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm treating myself. Yeah, that's it. I'm treating myself. Thank you so much, Akofa. We're gonna have Sista Afia join us here.